From you hear that song, you know it is time to talk the Ting with Kim. And this week, we have a very special guest, a guest that is dear to my heart, right? But we'll find out more about her soon. Yeah, but very, very, very dear to my heart, right? So I'm really happy to have her in studio with us. So, this woman beside me today has dedicated her life to protecting the rights of poor Jamaicans, educating Jamaicans about their rights through booklets, hosting meetings, organizing training programs, etc. You ever see somebody take up the time out of them day, dedicate them life to ensure that Jamaicans know what they're entitled to, know that what is right and what is wrong and what they shouldn't stand up for? You know? Listen, we don't have many of that in our time. So, she, right now, iconic. She's a strong believer in equal rights and justice for all Jamaicans, no matter their race, color, or economic status. She believes that we're all created equal and should be so treated by the government and laws of the land. She is none other than Miss Florizelle O'Connor, more popularly and lovingly known as Miss Flo. But I get to call her Auntie Flo. Abe.
Lucky.
Right?
Hey, we can probably take up the title soon.
No worry, she's not gonna mind. She's not going to mind.
All
right? So, but I'm gonna call her Miss Flo today, you know. So, Miss Flo has spent 7 years as the elected representative for Jamaica on the United Nations Subcommission. Yeah, I know your business.
I did. I have to say the chat so much.
Right, so the United Nations Subcommission for the Protection and Promotion of Human Rights. And she, along with attorney Dennis Daly, established the Jamaican chapter of the International Council on Human Rights in 1968. That is quite a feat.
Kim,
I'm just saying. My have to talk.
Cause no, I wonder if she look young.
Yes.
So that now add up.
That's how we are.
The grade school shot at them.
Yeah, our good food. No, me tell you about our fish tea, but we're not getting to that just yet.
Wow.
Right?
Kim, Auntie Flo, just don't tell everything.
I'm not going to talk because I'm not going to show up our door for the fish tea. I'm not really want to take it. No, go dump on me now. Xavier, don't think about it.
All right.
Don't think about it. after I get my, you don't even think about it because you're a foodie. So, just in case you didn't know who the JCHR is, right? No. The JCHR is the first in the English-speaking Caribbean, and the year 1968 marked the 20th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the United Nations. So, we're honored to have Miss Flo in studio here with us to join us in a conversation. So, guess what? It was not no interview per se, no, but let me tell you. I visited her the other day, right? And it was a while since I didn't see her. And trust me, I get the bad up, I get my beating. You know, it's fine. Right?
But I mean, I've always seen this name in the papers all over the place. And you know, I feel like, you know, when you meet like one of the Miss World winners, I feel because I've seen your name all about. You have been doing a lot of things out there.
She has been doing a lot of things out there. Trust me, supporting Jamaicans all around.
So thank you for joining us.
So I went to visit her, and the minute she saw me, of course, hugged me up all these things, and she said, "Listen, I'm on a campaign to educate young people on the things I wish I knew." Okay. Right? And that connected, like the information she started to share with me. And I was like, no man, this needs to be a topic. This is something we have a lot of young people that listen. So we need to educate the young people.
Well, yeah.
So young people in here too, not only on
Kim,
air.
I would have appreciated
Kim everybody
if
in here.
If you had introduced me to her a couple of years ago, you know, but it's never too late to learn. So
never too late.
I'm ready.
Right? So we're going to let her, you know, say good evening to the listeners because I've said so much about her. I'm going to let her represent herself.
Yeah, man, just stay.
So, Miss Flo, good evening.
Good evening to all of you, and thank you very much for having me here this evening.
Thanks for being with us.
I don't know where Kim did her research, but there are some corrections to be made.
Me
when I remember.
When you remember.
So, guys,
it is fine. So what I want to know, Miss Flo, right? Because I know that when I came by, you know, you just started with that conversation. So to me, that sounds like something you're passionate about. Yeah, so where did that come from?
From what I have observed going out on the road, the pharmacy, the supermarket, wherever.
Yes.
the behavior of younger people, some younger people, towards whom they regard as old people, the lack of courteous facilities in so many large business places, nothing there for the elderly.
Yes.
Things like that bothered me because our culture, the African culture, we revere, we place a lot of emphasis and respect on our elders.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
And it is true that we have been miseducated away from our African culture.
Yeah, we're drifting.
But just mere courtesy. You know,
Just the basics, just
Just
being
basic.
courteous.
Good Lord, man.
Yeah.
It is sickening.
Not
So,
like oh.
No, it's not. You know, but then again, a part of it is that we read all these books written elsewhere where retirement is such a beautiful thing in this beautiful rose garden that you just water and trim
Yes, and you
daily.
go on your cruise
Nothing
and, you know.
like that.
And then
Nothing like
we're
that.
watching all of these shows and
Hello.
okay.
No, nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
No.
All right.
And to add insult to injury, I'm going to be dealing a bit with the non-government world because that's my world. Eh? You work, you pay your NIS. I've been working since I was 18 years old. The minute I left university, I started working. And now I am in a society where your NIS pension is the princely sum of $12,000 per month. Will somebody please tell me what you are supposed to do with that?
That sounds like you're just your tithes and offering that. Not on a lunch
I'm
money.
all right.
Yeah.
$12,000 per month as a pension. It's a survive on that.
Per week, Auntie Flo.
No, honey,
Per
I
month.
wish.
Because if it's per week, we could do
That's
something.
if you want to break
wish.
it down, $4,000 a week.
Yeah.
For a week?
That's why I'm no longer on the internet.
Oh.
I can't afford to pay
I
for
feel like a floor. Buy 2 candles.
You got the picture.
No, but
And I know I am upsetting a lot of people out there because my generation, you don't speak about personal things.
Yes.
And you don't speak about your finances most of all. But let me tell you, you never ever get changed by remaining silent. And
like
I am appalled
Yeah.
that you have a House of Representatives, Parliament, with all these fat people and not so fat sitting there.
Yeah.
Their,
Well, they're basically
their
satisfied. you know.
pension
'Cause
is
yeah,
secure.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
they're
We
quite
will put
comfortable.
them there.
Yeah.
Where is our pension? As the
Who
song
looks
says,
after?
when will we be paid for the work we have done?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the question that needs to be answered.
Yes.
So I am concerned. I'm not hearing any dialogue, any discussion in the public space about the predicament of those of us who grew up knowing that you work for what you get and you work hard.
Yes.
And you expect that when you have stopped working, you will see returns. And I am told, because I have been doing a little research, there are some people who are getting $6,000.
Per month.
So,
For the same month?
Yes, for
So
the
different,
whole month.
no?
so I am fortunate.
Yes.
Oh.
Wow.
You see?
Well, hold
But-
on. Let me check it out, because sometimes I look on the pay slip. But NIS, sometimes, because we get paid one monthly, so NIS, sometimes it's about 8,000, 10,000. So them not put nothing on it. For the other years, then we add out back. Because
No.
that's the aim of having that pension, I would assume, is you're putting money aside.
For
It should be
when you
put in
retire.
some sort of, way to call it now, mutual fund where it can build.
Grow
So
or
that when
build.
you're ready to retire now, you can be getting more out of the money. The money should be working while you know,
That's right.
Yeah,
retire.
you working.
That's right.
But it not add up. Because
It
then
doesn't.
the 8,000 when we put in, inflation alone, should have carried that up to about 14,000. Now, by the time we take out the 8,000, if they might give me back the same 8,000, when we could have buy 5 patty, I could buy 1. What have
or just not buy patty anymore.
Or just farm
You just have to adjust your taste buds.
Yes.
And let me tell you, you're really required to dig deep and find hidden skills. I mean, I'm not an expert at a one-pot meal.
Right.
I challenge anybody to a one-pot food cook-off right now. Seriously.
No, but you have to make
It's good, it's nutritious, and it is within what you have.
Get the budget going.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Well,
But-
we have to go get some of the persons in the
You should-
right seat to adjust some of these things.
Yes, I think Jamaica, sadly, badly, needs a working consumer at protection affairs.
Yeah.
Thingamajig, whatever. I mean, them like fancy titles, and you have to get $1 billion office and those kind of things.
That's all them interested.
We would prefer that the $1 billion that you're going to use for the office, you spread out among the thousands. Because I'm not speaking for myself alone.
No.
But basically the retired community.
Yes. And many of them are upset with me now as I'm speaking because I'm not supposed to talk about these things.
Yeah.
But if you don't talk, you won't get change.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
And then while you might be so, probably some people say, well, me soon gone, so me not cuss. But I'm saying you have to look out for the other generation coming
How
up.
is the funeral to be paid for?
Well, that
is
as
true,
well.
and that's another expense.
Okay.
No, but it's a reality and especially because the younger generation tend to, as life goes on, we get caught up with our lives. So I realize also the retired community tend to rely on each other. I've been around a few ladies recently, and they're always checking on each other. If one's sick, she go and check because the kids are probably overseas or the kids are working. And they understand, they're not complaining. They're just saying they understand.
Yeah, they have to
But then they don't really have much support. Otherwise, I even saw one where she emailed saying, listen, she can't afford her house anymore. She's selling it. She's asking for somebody with a spare room to stay there. Selling your own home to go live in a shared space because you can't afford it.
And it's not that you can't afford the home because she probably bought the home.
Yeah.
But you probably can't afford the monthly bills.
Exactly. So that is why she's selling it. No.
That's right.
Actually, she sold it and is just asking, she sent it in an email group with other retirees. I was saying she just wants a bathroom and a room. She's fine, but she can't maintain the home anymore. That's the society we have right now for retired members.
But I am glad you made mention just now about diaspora, because I would like to appeal to those of us who are living abroad. Some of you are sending home money to take care of your parents, your elder relatives.
Yes.
I don't want to scare anybody, but for goodness sake, I strongly recommend that you find a third party to monitor. Keep in touch with that elder relative and monitor to make sure what you send
is what
the relative receive.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things not going right.
Yeah, a lot of things.
With elders who have children who are supporting them. But they're not coming back to Jamaica. And because they are afraid of everything stopping, they won't speak out and say, you got to visit them, and they may say, Lord, Miss Flo, so and so. But
they're not speaking
they're
up.
not speaking up. And of course, there are those who send the money, unfortunately, because God bless what grandma or auntie gets out of that money.
Yeah.
So that diaspora, it's good that you are meeting your financial responsibility, but you need to put a monitoring system in place.
And then you don't want to know that you've been giving and it's not going where it should go.
Exactly.
You'll feel away.
Exactly.
Most persons probably come down 2 or 3 years later to hear that, wait, welcome to the room and welcome to the place that we're paying rent for. So check up on Wagon, people.
But what I like is that you mentioned the money aspect of it, because I remember one thing you were sharing with me was the importance of saving.
Yes, I'm
and
going
that
there.
word we hear it a lot, but she just broke it down for me,
But even before Aunt Flo's goes into the saving element, we on the whole, NIS and insurance and sending the remittance and so on. As I said, we had the school last year, earlier this year, that did the students that graduated from the driver's license test.
Yes.
If only we could put some of these things into the curriculum for high school as well. How much should NIS be? Where is it gonna go? How much you can get after what period of time?
Process,
When I leave high school, I never know about retirement, what time we should retire. I know
and
how
even
much
now you still know too much about retirement. You know a bit.
I know a bit.
You don't know the age, probably.
I don't even know like the information myself. I just hear people talk. So you know, some of these things we need a book on it. Like, you know, what course that would be? Home economics. What would that be? I don't know. Civics, probably civics. I think. Yeah, where your
social studies, yeah, probably stuff like
where
that.
your investments going, what is the tax going to, and how much you should be getting back when you're done. So you can calculate it and plan. Yeah.
But that's one of the things we were debating last week.
One of the things I like to use myself as an example because nobody can say nothing to
and
me.
you can't say you can't nobody
story.
Name. Right.
Yes.
I grew up with a mother who worked until she died. I worked in the non-government world. Back in those days, you never hear the words pension or retirement. They weren't a part of the wider vocabulary.
Right.
Worse in the NGO world. You're working for the love of it and for the little something that you get in each month.
Yeah.
But you know what you were doing was impacting on other people. So that was where you got your satisfaction.
Yes.
So one of the things that my mother was very strong on about was saving. We had a little Milo tin with a lock on it.
Yeah.
And you drop.
You look a can,
in
little opening at the top, you just drop where you can drop, right?
And either when it's full or on a birthday, that is when you're good
You can open
to
it.
go and open it and lodge.
To the bank.
Victoria Mutual and you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, the savings is good, but one of the challenges, well, it's a must now. It's not good. It's required right now.
You don't really have much of a choice. Best thing for you to...
But what do you save?
Okay.
How do you save now? It's the tightest time to save.
Yes, that's
So,
true.
in addition to adjusting to the changes your body is making without asking you permission, and you have to now adjust the way you eat and be guided by your body.
Yeah.
So I want to say to young people who are out there working now, listen now, it is good to work and work hard, do the best you can, etc. But please, pay attention to your health and your right to life. We tend to talk a lot about right to life, but I don't hear enough talk about right to quality life.
Oh.
Right? So you're a lecturer or you work in media or you're a student, whichever. Please, don't strain your back or your bladder because you're afraid to get up to go and use the bathroom.
Oh. Because that will come at you in the long run.
You pay a price.
And all of us are guilty of it. So might be in a meeting, in a class, you have
And then
a speech
especially
to give.
most
And
of
if
this,
you are the person taking notes for meeting,
Yes, you can't miss anything.
all right.
and then most of the younger ones now, they are in call centers, and
Yes,
call centers
it is.
till a one break and
That's
all of these
true.
things. And you sit
A
down
set
for
break
5
time
hours.
and a set lunchtime.
Yeah.
And that's not, I don't know
That's
where
not
our
healthy.
union people are,
Sleeping.
but that's another. That's
a whole other conversation,
Yeah.
which we will have.
Yeah.
But we're not getting to that yet.
Listen, man, we got the point. We're getting through all the points, so we know who to talk to throughout the year. Because we're getting there.
Yes,
So people,
because human rights is something we have to cover.
Yeah.
We have
No, another area which is of concern to me is the fact that we don't have a social welfare net in Jamaica. Who do you go to when you go to the doctor and you get 3 prescriptions that come up to $50,000? Who do you go to?
Well, most persons say nowadays is, you have health card.
Yes, do some research on that, because what I have discovered, much to my dismay, is the recurrent medication that you have to use, like for hypertension,
Yes.
diabetes, and so on.
Right.
some of those have quietly been taken off the health card.
Wow.
With current medicine.
Yes. That people are highly dependent on.
Yes.
So because they're saying, oh, I'm going to need this enough, so we can't afford to put it on. Wow.
I don't know.
So
there's that needs to be looked at. The lack of service. You go into an organization, institution, business place. I know, yes, there's an area for the elderly.
Right.
The place is about 3 times this size, but you have about 4 chairs.
Yeah, for the seniors.
For the elderly.
That's not true flow. 1, 2, 3. You have 5 seats
Right. So basically,
for the elderly.
Yeah.
And 1 dedicated cashier who also have to do other things.
Yes.
Yes.
No thought is given that this is somebody who is getting on in age. Maybe they have a time to take their medication,
Yes.
and you have them sitting down there. What is that doing to
Right.
them?
Yeah.
I want to say something, you see.
Say it about it. Them taught the thing with
I don't know
Kim.
if you want to say it during the break.
No. And the cashier has other things to do as well.
Yeah.
So don't think you are getting any straight priority
Yeah,
treatment.
Right.
prioritized.
No. There is almost robot-like
Yeah.
way in which some of the customer service reps are trained in these places. I'll give you one example which I witnessed the other day. A lady came into a place. When she saw the line, she looked and she said, "It's all right, miss. Don't give me any card. I will come back another time because I have to get home in half hour to take my medication."
Right.
Yeah.
And the charming customer service says, "No, ma'am, that's okay. You are next in line."
Yes.
So you are first in line for the
Yes.
old age. What she didn't tell her is that the cashier was at lunch.
Oh.
What?
Okay. Well,
So I left that lady there.
There, yeah.
I felt it for her, but
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had to get to him by a certain time.
all right. You see, and then that's another thing too, because I've seen stuff like that. Because most of the thing when you go to these locations, usually I find that it's like we're shifting from the good stuff, and it's either basically all about a quick buck. So you go to the places, the customer service, they're actually called customer service reps, but there's no customer service. It's just come with the paper, next, come with the paper, next. So there's no courtesy,
Or if
there's
you
no...
can't get him a thing, you get through
So
quicker.
I was at a place yesterday and I was standing there, I was trying to get my friend in to get checked on, and because they weren't feeling well. So I was like, hey, and the person was there basically on the phone, and then just pressing up one button on the computer. And some of the other guys like, you go up to that rep, they said the rep not taking anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're on a break or whatever, but if I'm on a break, I better me turn up on my yard or go around at the
Because,
door.
yeah, so you're
but
not
to sit
there
right at the front
seeming like
desk in front
ignoring
of
everybody.
and ignore
Yeah,
people.
so it's no common
there-
thought to say, how am I presenting myself? Nobody no business with nobody nowadays. It's rough.
I think too that a part of the problem is that elders, by and large, are no longer as involved with young people
Right.
as like in my generation.
The connection isn't there.
The connection, because if young people were paying a little bit more attention to their elders, they are out there, they have social media and everything else.
Yes.
I would like to think that if grandma or auntie opened up to them and said, "Lord, my child, so and so," the matter would be raised elsewhere. People would start comparing notes.
yeah.
My mother tell me that so and so.
Yeah.
Yes, my auntie tell me the same thing and so and so.
Yeah.
But there is a communication
A
gap.
disconnect, yeah.
Yes, between the older generation and the youth. And I would like to appeal to young people that listen, you don't know what you're missing. Because there is some education you will not get out of the books that are not written for us.
Yes.
But there is some education that you will get only from speaking to your elders. If you can get them to open up, because by now many of them have said, Lord, slow them, your young people now want to hear nothing from me.
Exactly.
That's
what I was going to say in Auntie Flo. You see, when they come to that point, I think, as I said, I've been saying this throughout the show sometimes, that I think some of the parents nowadays, they drop the ball. They do, because usually back in my days, basically almost every summer growing up, my mother would ensure that we go down to grandma for the summer. You know? Nowadays, it's like the parents are kind of growing the kids as them friend and company.
Yes.
So it's like, no, we not go down to grandma. It's not. Because even sometimes my mother don't even go down there either, but she send me.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Nowadays, probably back in the days, probably the parents never send you to church. Probably they never go with you, but them send you. But nowadays, me not got the parents are like me not go church, so you not go. Me not go to grandma, so you not. So it's be a friend and community. It's not about is this thing gonna help them?
Values.
Is this thing gonna add value to their life? Is this thing good? Is this
everybody wants to be the cool parent?
That's it. Everybody just want to be friend and company with the kids.
And so we end up talking about what by the time the child is 15, 16. Keep talking about crime and violence in society.
And then and
because the child has not been grounded. And you and I, mother and kids, have not been having conversation constantly. So you got least hear what happened in my day or what I would like to see you doing.
Yes.
Because I respect the right of every child to choose their path. But I would like to see in the making of that choice, some of what goes into it is what you have gained from me, the adult around.
Yes.
So there is that. I know I am being very picky.
No, it's not picky.
I know it's a short time, and some things I'm so passionate about, I don't want to start because you will have to.
Well, no, man, we still have more time to talk. We're just going to go to the break right now. But when we come back, we will continue the conversation. I'm learning so much. I hope you guys are too. Take on the notes. And if it is that you don't get to take the notes, every single Talk the Ting with Kim episode is recorded and it's actually posted on our YouTube channel. So type in Funtastic Fridays. Going to the break. We'll be right back.